1 minute. Not that we ever start on time, or ever I start on time.
I feel really discombobulated.
It's dinner tonight.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't like 6 o'clock start.
All right, everybody got their
Sheridan.
coffee, right?
Sheridan's in charge.
Your drink?
No, I don't
Yeah,
have
good.
coffee.
This meeting will last until that time coffee gets down to here, then we'll take a break. 6 o'clock. Town council meeting, Trophy Club is open. We're going to call to order. We're going to announce a quorum. The quorum, we have 5 commissioners up here, and that is a quorum. For those that need to know, if we take a vote on anything, it takes 4 to vote on a positive on anything. I'd like to tell you, my name's Dennis Sheridan. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem. I'm opening the meeting tonight because the mayor's husband is extremely ill. And Joel, I'd like you to include his memory in the invocation. And I'd like to start off with an invocation. Please rise.
All right, let's pray. God, thanks for this meeting, this time, these servants and these leaders. I pray for the citizenry of Trophy Club that we would honor the gift that you've given us to live here and be good neighbors and good people and love well. And we just thank you for Jeanette, and we pray for her husband Jerry and for peace and comfort to wrap around that family. Just be, as much as the heat is all around us, may your presence be around them. And I thank you for tonight, and I ask for civility and kindness and intentionality, and just thank you for the work that these people do. Be with our first responders, those that protect us, those that run to trouble when others run from it. And thank you for Trophy Club, and may you bless it. Through Jesus I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joel. Pledges, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor
Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Terry, any public comments? Do we have anybody signed up?
No.
Then I'll pass on that. We have a community spotlight. Scott White is very prominent in this area, and we'd like to invite Naman. I apologize if I...
You got it.
Okay. Please.
Absolutely.
Floor is yours.
Well, Council, thank you for having us. Just wanted to spotlight our hospital just a little bit and give you a little bit about our information and how we are serving the community over here. So I always like to start off every meeting with a public service announcement of please, if there's an emergency, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, please dial 911. Don't try to get in a car and drive to a hospital. You know, we say in the hospital business, the time is muscle, heart muscle for heart attack patients, and then also the more quickly, if you're suffering from a stroke, that we can get you into the hospital and retrieve the clot, the better it is. We partner very closely with all of our EMS agencies around us, and we have done studies that if you try to drive yourself to the hospital versus coming via EMS, there are significant clinical outcome differences for your health over here. With our EMS partners, we actually use a system called Pulsera, and when they are picking you up from your homes, we start to receive their data immediately from them. So that allows our teams to be prepared for either in the cath lab or the interventional radiology lab to be ready, and oftentimes we can skip the emergency room completely over here. Won't spend too much time on this, but Baylor Scott & White, we are the state's largest not-for-profit healthcare system. You can see some of the statistics that we have up on the board. But I wanted to definitely highlight our hospital here at Grapevine. This will be our 70th year of serving the community. What started as a 5-bed hospital by the Lancaster family has grown to over 300 beds. You can see we have over 1,000 staff members. We bring in 2,300 new taxpayers every year with our BERTs, employ over about, that's actually closer to 1,300 people, provide 50,000 ED visits, and over 6,300 surgeries over here. We are founded as a Christian ministry of healing, and we promote the well-being of all individuals, families, and communities. And our vision really is to help our community to empower you to live well, to hopefully not have to utilize hospital services, but if needed, provide those highest level of care for you. Our whole goal really is that if you live in our community, there should be no reason that you'd have to migrate to downtown Dallas or downtown Fort Worth to receive that world-class care over here. You know, one of our fundamental beliefs is zero harm. By creating a safe and respectful environment is foundational for us to deliver excellent patient care. Won't go through all of these services over here, but Magnet is the top tier of nursing recognition. Only the top 9% of hospitals receive that. Level 3 NICU, I'll highlight for just 1 minute. It is the second highest level care for our neonatal ICU babies. So children and babies born with gestation of 28 weeks or higher, we can safely take care of here in the community. Don't have to go to one of our children's hospitals in downtown. So if you're in the NICU and your family members are there for 6 weeks, 8 weeks while the baby is growing, you can do that here in our community. Trauma level 2 means that we provide the highest level trauma other than level 1 centers, and the only clinical difference between them and us is they have residents in-house. So you guys actually get attending physicians here in the community to take care of all those needs. We are the only trauma level 2 center in Northeast Tarrant County. We're working on our stroke program to become a comprehensive stroke center and cancer services. As I said, the whole goal really is that if you live and work in our community, there's no reason why you would have to out-migrate to any of the downtown facilities. Full service lines in cardiology, labor delivery, stroke. Pulmonary node robotics program is really for our lung cancer, maternal, and then we talked about trauma as well. We are investing a lot of money into capital projects. We just enhanced our cath lab over here, expanding our ORs with an addition of a hybrid OR, and then we're adding 20 new beds to our women's pavilion that should help accommodate growths of the community over here. And with that, I promise to be brief, but any questions or any concerns, any feedback for us as a hospital, would be happy to take that now. Yes, ma'am.
Luann?
I was very impressed and learned something. I didn't realize that Baylor Scott and White was nonprofit
Yes, ma'am.
and that you had a Christian ministry of healing.
Absolutely,
I'm just so impressed. I don't want to get sick, but if I do, I'll be right there.
absolutely. And we hope you never get sick, but if we do, that's what we're here for, is for the community. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I've heard before that from our fire chief and from our EMS, that the relationship with the Baylor is excellent. And like you said, the communications is important.
Absolutely.
So, any other council people?
Yes, sir.
Flynn?
So I've had the fortunate or unfortunate, depending on which way you look at it, opportunity to go to Baylor Scott twice, once for heart, once for cancer. And I got to tell you, you guys are just spectacular.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome, great people. Your extensions, not only the main facilities, but just super. So
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was about 45 minutes from a heart attack, and your cath lab there took care of that for me.
They are an excellent team. Hope no one ever has to have it, but if you do, that is the place to come.
And unfortunately, I did drive myself.
My only thing is you need to cooperate with the VA and get me closer. All right, I had to get that in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Appreciate your
coming.
time.
Y'all have a
Thank you.
nice
You too.
evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Terry, read number 2.
Consent agenda item number 2, consider and take appropriate action to approve the town council meeting minutes dated July 25th, 2023, and town council meeting minutes dated July 31, 2023.
Thank you. Steve Flynn.
I move to approve consent agenda item number 2, minutes dated July 25th, 2023, and town council meetings dated July 31st and 2023.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Beach. All those in favor? Okay. I'm going to move agenda item number 6 up to the next one. Terry, would you read agenda item number 6?
Consider and take appropriate action on the establishment of a public arts committee, board, or commission and open for applications.
Okay. Thank you. Tamara? Staff report, please.
Yes, so on the last council meeting, good evening, Mayor and Council. On the last council meeting, we decided we would push the public arts establishment into this council meeting. If you would like, we can push it again, or if you would like to make a decision, staff is here to hear your decisions tonight.
Okay, thank you. Anybody in the public want to say anything? All right, council, comments, starting with Stacy.
I would recommend we table this for two reasons. I mean, the mayor's not here, who's very passionate about it. Carl Munger, who's been very passionate about some of these items too. Not that I don't support it, but we get two kind of key players that are passionate about the issue. Just my thoughts.
Okay, Jeff,
I'm going to agree with Steve.
Luann?
I think we pretty much have a consensus, and I think that we should be able to move forward with making a motion to go ahead and establish it from our previous. So if you don't mind, I move that council proceed with an initial ad hoc committee to formulate the Arts and Culture Commission and open the committee for applications to be considered by the Appointments Committee.
And I'd second that. Okay, so that's an advisory committee, not a board, not a whichever, okay?
Right, committee.
Any discussion? Steve?
Having listened to Councilman Oldham, I'm going to support it, so for the reasons you talked about. That's my comments.
Jeff?
I'm good.
All right, anybody in the public wish to speak? Having said that, with motions on the table with a second, all those in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous for this quorum. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you, sir.
All right, coming back to the regular agenda, item number three, Terry?
Consider and take appropriate action on ordinance authorizing the issuance of Town of Trophy Club, Texas combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2023, in the approximate principal amount of $7 million, levying a tax and providing this for the security for and payment of said certificates, awarding the sale of certificates, authorizing the execution and delivery of a paying agent agreement, approving the official statement, enacting other provisions relating to the subject.
Okay, thank you. April, please, staff report.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. So this morning we had our bid opening for this bond issue, and I do have Mark and Julie here to speak about the results of that.
Thank you. Hello, Mark McCliney with Samco Capital Markets. I'm the town's financial advisor. Julie Partain is the town's bond counsel that did all the legal work for this transaction. In June, City Council or Town Council authorized us to proceed with a notice of intention resolution for an amount not to exceed $7 million for various projects. Those projects included streets, the roundabouts, and park improvements, including the pickleball court. We published that in the town's newspaper, put it on the website, giving your citizens notice that town council was going to consider this evening. This morning at 10 o'clock, we received bids. I put at your dais bid forms like this. We went throughout the country and received 8 bids consisting of multiple firms. The best bid, BOK Financial, out of Dallas, bid a 3.86%. The bids that came in, you can see there on the far right-hand column, the attachments are the individual bids with all the differences. I would point out that we had bids from throughout the country. Dallas BOK was the winning bid. We had bids from Minneapolis, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Memphis, a couple others from Dallas, and then from Boston, Massachusetts. With your bond rating, which is AA+, people throughout the country really strive to get these bonds, and putting this in a competitive sale makes them bid against one another. This bid, we ran the numbers at 4 3/4. It's approximately $940,000 lower than what we were budgeting. The Matches up, the first 2 years matches up exactly where we want it for tax rate purposes, which is going to be two items down on the agenda, and it matches up perfectly. It looks about a 2-cent overall decline on your tax rate, just under a 2-cent decline, assuming you all proceed. Our recommendation is to award the certificates of obligation to BOK Financial. I'm here to address any questions you may have about the finances, about the numbers, about the bid process, and Julie can handle anything on the legal side of it. Yes, sir.
Mark, just out of curiosity, do we have or have we had any bonds with BOK in the past?
I'd have to look it up. It will only take me about 2 seconds.
Okay, anybody in the audience, any public wish to speak? Okay, then we'll come back to council and
All right, to say that it looks like I'm gonna have to pull it up on the internet. They're frequent bidders.
I saw you nodding, April. It sounds like we have. Okay,
You-
that's good enough.
I believe we have at least currently 1 or 2 issues with that bank.
And they've also put a 2% good faith check. So if they would not perform, which they've never not performed, we get to cash that 2% good faith check. So $140,000 to protect us, the town, if they would not perform.
keep
Sorry,
going, Steve.
one more question. It might be an April question. In the, well, what will be the proposed motion, we use the term approximate principal of $7 million. Is there a reason for the word approximate?
Yes, and I can give you that. So we bid $7 million. That was what town council authorized. The bidders bid, and we give them the right to adjust how they bid as long as we deposit $7 million into your construction fund. And they bid with a premium. And that premium means they're going to pay more than face value for the bonds. Since we can only deposit $7 million into your account, we lower the par amount. So your actually borrowing amount is $6,925,000. The difference is paid by them paying a premium for these bonds. And I say bonds, or certificates of obligation.
Yeah.
I end up using the same term back and forth. So they are paying a premium. That premium will cover what they make, their profit, all the costs of issuance associated with the sale, and we will deposit $7 million into the town's bank accounts to cover the projects.
Okay. Stacy?
Just to make it a little simpler, we don't actually know what the par amount's going to be until you sell it in the market. You didn't sell it in the market till today. So when we do the agenda posting, we have to approximate what the par amount will be because I don't know yet because you haven't sold it yet.
Yeah? I'm good. Luann?
I'm good.
Okay. Is it possible, because we only have 5 people here today, is it possible to postpone this till the next meeting in the 28th?
Well, it'd be very difficult because people bid on it. I might go to the legal side of it, but we set a date today.
Okay.
So from a legal standpoint, you can postpone it to a date certain. You would have to say that. It would have to be reflected in the minutes, right? Because this is noticed. You noticed people that you were going to approve this ordinance tonight.
No. We did not notice that we're going to approve it tonight. We
You're gonna
noticed that we
consider it.
Consider it,
True.
please. Thank you.
From a practical standpoint, I think it would be unlikely that the buyers of the bond would hold their pricing until your next meeting. So you very might likely have to go right back out into the market and get a new bid.
Sure. Next question, can we reduce the amount?
The bidders bid on the $7 million because that was the request.
Got it.
And we had visited with council when we did this in June. If the amount was going to be reduced, we needed to know 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to vote against it. Am I correct in saying our total indebtedness is 22 million, give or take?
No,
Fake?
that I do have.
Okay. I'm using a 2022 sheet, so I don't have an update.
Prior to the issuance of these,
Right?
$18,398,000 prior to the issuance, this issuance.
Can you repeat that? 18 what?
$18,398,000 prior to the issuance
Okay.
that we're discussing today.
So April, from the sheet that I'm looking at, that means we paid down, or we just haven't,
We've probably made debt payments.
we've made
Reduced
the
that.
payments. Okay, so we're 18 million in. This town's never borrowed at one time 7 million. That's one. We did borrow a couple of different units to build this town hall, and we did significantly to do a lot of the PID work. I separate that out. Do we have an updated estimate on what the roundabout's going to cost?
Yes, sir. For one roundabout, that's 5 to 6 million.
5 to 6 million, and I'll vote against that too. We started talking about roundabouts in the 3 million range. We have the Denton County that's committed $1.1 million to as matching funds. This is getting way out of hand. We could hire a policeman to stand there and do the work for 5 million, even that's an estimate. The other thing, do we have an update on the pickleball machine? Not machine, but pickleball. No. All right, so we went from 300,000 to, in the capital improvement plan, to $1.3 million. So
Now,
I'm
funding for
recommending that we deny, but and I'll shut my mouth, and I've got 3 pages of comments and everything, and we're not going to waste our time.
I'd like to make a comment, Dennis.
No, hold on a second. Anybody in the public want to speak? All right, make motion.
Well, let me comment first.
Sure, no,
Okay.
we're still discussing this.
I'm approving and making a motion because we're in, I'll call it phase 2, if not phase 3. We've had this discussion before. We've given them direction before. And personally, if I wasn't going to support it, I wouldn't have approved that last time or whenever the date was that we did that. So I'm having a hard time going back on something we gave direction for already. It's my personal feeling.
Good point. And my comment is I voted against it then. I didn't have all the information I have now, and it's ridiculous that we should give staff a fluff fund of $7 million in a bond bank account. That's my opinion. Any other comments? Anybody want to make a motion?
I do. I move to approve the issuance of, for the town of Trophy Club, a combination tax rate and revenue certificate of obligation, Series 2023, in the approximate principal amount of $7 million, levying a tax and providing for the security and payment of said certificates, awarding the sale of certificates, authorizing the execution and delivery of paying agent agreement, approving of the official statement, and acting other provisions relating to the subject.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Beach. Any further discussion? Any discussion from the public? I'll take a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 4, 1 against. You passed. Takes 4. Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
And we've got one document that I need to get signed by the Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, now, come on.
No,
No,
he rejected,
no,
you can't sign.
you're not going to do that to me.
Yeah, yeah.
God,
Well, isn't that karma?
Is there a camera in
Camera's on it.
somewhere?
God.
Little karma there.
All right. Over here.
Dennis,
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut.
Sheridan. Mayor Pro Tem.
That's awesome.
No, I always do that. I don't, this is not personal.
Wasn't
I've
it
always
easy
put
around
my-
P and Z, Dennis?
Okay? Gotcha. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. The next, okay, as soon as Terry gets finished there. Terry. Agenda item number 4, please.
Okay.
Receive a presentation from town staff regarding the fiscal year 2024 proposed budget and take action to set a budget hearing date.
Okay. April, you're up. We're going to do staff report, public comment, and then council.
Good evening again, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. I'm here to provide a brief overview of the fiscal year 23-24 proposed budget and set a public hearing on the budget for Monday, September the 11th at 6 p.m. So tonight I'll be going over town funds, revenues, and expenditures at a high level and just give you some of the updates we have found as we've gone through this process. So we have a list of the town funds and their primary funding sources. We also have listed here is the fund balance for those funds, as well as where we expect revenues and expenditures related to those funds to come in. The town has two primary revenue sources. The first of those is sales tax. Every dollar that's spent in the town of Trophy Club, the town receives 2 cents of that dollar. Of that 2 cents, 1 cent goes to general fund, half a cent is dispersed to EDC 4B, a quarter of a cent goes to CCPD, and the other quarter of a cent goes to the street maintenance sales tax fund. Our second and largest main revenue source for the town of Trophy Club is property tax. Based on the town's taxable values, staff is recommending a not-to-exceed tax rate to be set at the voter approval rate of a little over 41.5 cents for fiscal year 23-24. If you look at the middle column there, that is the voter approval tax rate.
4.15.
Yes, sir.
469, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'll write that down in case you want to make a motion later. Okay, keep going.
Got it. Current property tax exemptions offered for Trophy Club residents is a homestead exemption, an over 65 exemption, and disabled veteran exemptions. I wanted to provide an example of a sample property tax bill in Trophy Club and how that breaks down for the town of Trophy Club. So I took an average taxable value of $614,000, and I included a homestead exemption in that, and I used a citizen that lives in the mud. That property tax bill equates to about $12,000 a year. Of that $12,000, the town receives about 22% of that, which is a little over $2,000 a year. The rest of that property tax bill is dispersed to the county, the schools, and the mud. If you lived in the PID or had other exemptions, your view of this would change slightly, but this is just an estimate for you. We'll now take a look at expenditures for the fiscal year 23-24 budget. To talk about personnel highlights is our Human Resources Director, Denise DePrado.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Thank you for your time this evening. As April stated, I am here to discuss the personnel changes, and we'll start with a 4% market adjustment that is being recommended. This would take our pay plan, and which was last in front of council on March 26th, and increase the pay ranges by 4%. This will help stay within the 50th percentile of our benchmark agencies as council has directed. In addition, we are recommending a performance merit of up to 2% for employees who have a passing evaluation. Next, we have changes to our medical, dental, and vision plan. This year, we, along with our benefit broker, Hub, took the plans out to the market, and we will be changing our medical, dental, and vision from medical is currently with United Healthcare, and Blue Cross Blue Shields came in at a much better medical premium rate for us and our employees. So we will be changing providers, resulting in a savings. With that, we have also reevaluated our town contribution and employee contribution rates, and we're modifying that. So employee-only plans will be 100% town-funded, and then all of the dependent plans, your employee plus child or employee full family, will be an 80-20 split, 80% paid by the town and then 20% paid by the employee. In addition, our dental and vision is currently with Principal, and we are moving to Blue Cross Blue Shield, again, because there was a significant rate savings there. And with all of those savings, we are able to provide 100% town-funded for all dental and vision tiers.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem? Do you want to wait for questions till the end? I don't know how many we'll have or how many slides, but, because I have a question about this.
I prefer if you just
Okay.
let them do their presentation.
Okay.
So this outlines our cost for FY 22-23 compared to our proposed 23-24, and the salaries with that 4% and the 2% merit, the 4% market adjustment and the 2% merit. In addition, you'll see there is, for the benefits, and this is just our medical, dental, and vision, we, even with all the changes that we've made, there is still savings there. Next, I'm going to talk about position changes, and we are recommending adding a police sergeant, 1 FTE, to the police department, adding 1 FTE as a support staff to the human resources department, and eliminating 1 FTE from the community development department. This is eliminating a position, but it is a vacant position. There is no person in that position, so it will not result in any layoff. That would change our total FTE or positions to 81 from we're currently at 80. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to April for services and supplies, but I will be here to answer personnel questions.
Can we take a break, or not a break, but take questions?
Sure,
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, if you can go back one more there.
Okay.
Talk to everybody. I think the finance subcommittee has heard this, but specifically the medical. We are proposing, you're proposing an 80-20 split. Walk us through, because the current plan is rather complicated, is it not? April, maybe you can better address that issue, because from what we came across, it was all over the board, kind of.
It was all over the board. We're not quite sure how it was calculated in past years. Our benefit broker also was not part of the decision or understanding how. They were just provided, here's the numbers, this is what we're going to use. We do believe that it was based off of what fit within the budget. And so now to have, so for example, we all know our benefits. So you have a plan, an HMO plan, you have employee only, employee plus spouse, employee plus child, and then an employee plus family tier. All of those were kind of all over the place on how much the town contributed. So in some, the town would contribute about 46%, 47%. In another, they would fund it at 80%. So we have 3 plans. We have a PPO, an HMO, and then an HSA, and then those different tiers within them. All of those numbers were just all over the place. So bringing it to an 80-20, we are saying that no matter what you're in, the PPO, the HMO, or the HSA, the town will pay 80% of that monthly premium, no matter what plan, what tier you are in, across the board. And we just thought this was a more fair and equitable method for the employees.
Yeah, I think that's the point. It was kind of all over the board, and you've really done a good job of cleaning it up.
Thank you.
The second, go ahead a slide if you would. The only second question I have, the police, one more. Yeah, in the packet, I think we showed, and I brought this up to Patrick, and I think April, I see you nodding, he already got it. It looked like we were going from 1 to 3 sergeants, which wasn't the case, right? That was just a, yeah, okay. That's it, thank you.
For as far as personnel goes, any other comments? All right,
Got them
thank you
covered.
very much, Steve.
Thank you.
April?
Okay, when looking at services and supplies, we really did a deep dive into what services are we paying for that are duplicates, sorry. Thank you, Councilman Beach. What services are we paying for that are duplicates or that overlap on each other? Where can we save money? And we've done a lot of that with our transparency software. We're working through that with our agenda solution, that new software that was approved a few council meetings ago. One major increase we found was our vehicle maintenance for our fire and EMS equipment and our streets equipment. We have an ILA with a neighboring city, and they did relay to us that there is a little over 20% increase in that. So that will be significant for us in those lines. So, but we are finding a lot of cost savings with all of the duplicate services and contracts.
That's with Watauga, right?
It is, yes, sir. Town charter requires general fund reserves to be at a minimum of 30%. Currently, we are at about 47%. So in this fiscal year 23-24 budget, we're looking at ways to keep that flat or keep that under control. So we did budget $1.5 million in one-time major expenditures to be decided at council's discretion. So this town is almost 5 years old, so we've got notice that the ACs are having issues and roofing will be a need in the future. So all of those one-time expenditures, we've started to budget for those so that we can be ready for those when they happen. And that's what this was about. And of course, those would all go through council. The other pressing item is the legislation. So the property tax relief bill was in that last session, and that's all over the news right now. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. That is going to provide a homestead exemption by a school district, and that's going to increase that. It's currently $40,000. They will increase that homestead exemption to $100,000. That does not affect towns at all at this point. So I did just want to clarify that the town of Trophy Club will not have any negative effects from that.
It's 110 for seniors, Dennis, just so you know.
Thank you. All right, question.
With that,
Anybody in the
I'll
public
answer
have
any
questions?
questions.
Nope, council,
I have a question.
yes.
Can we go back to the 1.5 million that we're taking out of the general fund,
Yes, ma'am.
and we're going to move it into one-time expenditures? You made an example such as the roof or that sort of thing.
Yes,
I would think we've got capital expenditures already anticipated for
We
that
do.
type of functionality.
Well, we don't have funding for all of those, so this was setting money aside to address that capital improvement plan that we brought a few meetings ago. This was setting fund balance aside for some of those projects at council's discretion.
Okay, so we really don't have, like, for repairs and maintenance, a percentage going back for that on town hall already?
We do not, no. I mean, we have routine maintenance, but not major replacement. So an AC unit is $60,000 to $80,000.
Right, so we're going to anticipate wear and tear. We're going to need this in 5 or 10 years.
Right.
So we should already be, I would think, putting some percentage back for this sort of thing already. But that's a good use of it. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just surprised we're not already doing that.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm good.
I'm glad you're on this slide. So our current reserve is at 47%. We know that's a little bit high,
Yes,
on the higher side.
yes, sir.
What will it effectively be reduced to with the 1.5 million?
Well, it'll really depend on how we come in at the end of this year.
Ballpark, is it going to reduce it 5%? I mean,
I think we're going to add a little to it at the end of this year. So we may just maintain.
I'm not following that. Say that again.
So we may be adding $1 million to fund balance based on current expenditures and vacancies and all of those things.
In other words, because we've had this conversation, this budget is assuming full employment of all slots. For example, you've got the fire is, I think, is needing to replace somebody or whatever, and so is the policeman and
Town manager.
town manager.
secretary.
So the budget has their salaries in there, but we're not spending the money. That's where the excess will come from, even though you're going to reduce it $1 million. And it's a significant amount of money if you go through the budget and look each
Oh,
line
yeah,
item.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Stacy, any comments? I'd like to make just one, this is to the public, this is a draft proposal.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
And it's meant for the public to look at. And we do have a subcommittee made up of Carl Munger, Steve Flynn, and myself. And and we've been through this. This is our third revision. It's going to be marked third revision. And any council, please feel free to go through it and bring up to the subcommittee comments, questions, whatever. And if there's any public that wishes to submit questions, we'll try and get you an answer. But just remember that a question now is maybe a little bit difficult because this is a proposed, and we still need to flesh it out. Thank you very much,
Thank you
April.
so
You
much.
can stay there.
Yes.
Terry, you want to read number 5, please?
Did you set the public hearing date?
No, we
Did you
didn't.
take
No,
action?
there's no,
Take action to set a budget hearing date.
Okay,
She suggested a date, but.
got it. What date did you suggest?
September the 11th at 6 p.m.
Okay, I make a motion to set September 11th at 6 p.m. To take action on the budget.
Second.
That is a hearing, public hearing. All right, any comments, any questions? Any public wish to speak? All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Terry. Keep me straight.
Okay. Number 5, consider and take appropriate action regarding a record vote on a not-to-exceed fiscal year 2024 ad valorem tax rate, and to schedule a public hearing to meet truth and taxation requirements as required by the charter and related matters.
Okay, April?
So as I mentioned in my budget presentation, we are recommending a not-to-exceed tax rate of the voter approval rate of 0.415469 cents.
Okay, and just to clarify, this is required by law that
Yes,
we
sir.
do this.
Yes, sir.
And this is only when the town votes for and sets the tax rate. They cannot exceed this rate.
Yes, sir, that is
All right,
correct.
clarify. Any public commissioners, any comments?
No.
Everett? Make a motion?
Sure. I move to take the appropriate action to set the voter approval rate not to exceed 0.415469 for fiscal year 2024 ad valorem tax rate, and schedule a public hearing to meet truth and taxation requirements as required by charter and related matters.
And you're going to set that public hearing on what date?
On September 11th as well?
No, it's the 25th.
25th, September 25th.
September 25th, okay?
Okay,
Second?
second by Jeff Beach. Any comments, any questions? Council? We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? Unanimous? Future agenda items. Tamara?
Good evening again, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Tonight I'm be stepping in for Chief Arata to go over the future agenda items. I wanted to ask, does council have any additions to the future agenda items or any items that they would like to take off?
Yes. Luann?
I have one. I would like to add to the future agenda list that Trophy Club Community Development Standards incorporate legal description guidelines in the review process for the preparation of all real property descriptions, either for or on behalf of the town of Trophy Club, Texas.
No, we've been through that. We've been through it. Okay. I would second that. So you have two council people recommending that would go on it.
Great.
I have a request from the mayor, which if the mayor is requesting it, doesn't need a second. And that is on a future agenda item to fully update the 1997 Comprehensive Land Plan and any revisions to it. Now, that's a very narrow statement for a very broad topic. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Then I would like to add or update one item. On the future agenda item right now is Hogan's Glen. And it's kind of a little bit confusing, and I would like to get that on the next council meeting as August 28th. And I'd like to have it to discuss, take action, or give staff direction.
I will second that.
All right? We need better communications with the HOA. We need to, we change legal advisors in this time frame. And we need to discuss what, if anything, can be done, how it can be done, what's the best way to do it. I'd like to have both an open meeting. I prefer the open meeting, but at the same time, for this item, I think somebody may ask for executive session legal advice. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So we have a second. That's a given. Pat, any comments? Mike? Okay. That's it. Anybody else have anything for future agenda items? Then,
Can I?
Go ahead.
I know you answered the question, but maybe I missed it. I apologize. Did we have public comments?
we
Did we do
didn't
that?
read it. I asked at the beginning if
There
there's any
weren't.
comments,
Okay.
No one signed up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
so
Thank
we
you.
passed right by it.
Perfect,
Okay?
thank you.
I'm not in favor of going into executive session unless there's a specific item that a council person would like to hear about. If not, we're going to pass executive session. I will take a motion to, it says reconvene into, oh, we never did that. How about adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We got 5 seconds and 5 motions. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Mayor, would you announce the time?
Oh,